Hey, it's Lori. And we're going to make some dinner tonight. We're just going to make dinner real quick. So I'm doing breakfast for dinner. And Chase has already come down to ask me if I was making anything. So I better get busy. We got hungry guys. All right. So what I'm going to make is... Oh, I got to grab the English muffins. But I have English muffins. I'm going to make basically sausage muffin, an egg, and cheese breakfast sandwiches. And we're going to do some Southern style hash browns. I had them laying on the towel. Can you tell they're frozen? Southern style hash browns with onions in them. And cheese for the eggs. Here's the eggs right here. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. All right. I have to go grab the English muffins. I don't know if they want them toasted or what, but I'm just going to set the toaster over there on the counter, and if they want their English muffins toasted, they can toast it themselves, I guess. And yeah, so I think we're just going to probably do American cheese, just the regular old Kraft American singles on the sandwiches. Yeah, so I'm going to cook this sausage in my electric skillet because the electric skillet holds so many at a time. Then I'm going to get some eggs going in a different pan, get the potatoes going, all that good stuff. So I better get busy. I'm just going to quickly chop up this onion. Get all the stuff off of it. I don't have a whole lot to talk about while I'm doing all this, so I should have thought about something to talk about. Honey, what can I talk about, you think? What would be interesting to talk about on a video while I'm cooking? He has no idea.
Notre Dame.
I'm not going to talk about football.
Football. Why don't you just talk about Notre Dame?
What do you want me to say about Notre Dame?
How great their football team is.
No, I'm not talking about football. I guess I asked the wrong person. Why don't you guys let me know in the comments below? Do you have any questions for me or anything? I mean, I'm usually pretty much an open book, so. Let me get this cut up real quick like. Okay, that would have been really loud, so. This is probably going to be somewhat loud too, because I have to kind of bang it.
Hey. Thought you were sleeping.
Chase, what kind of topic can I talk about on my video while I'm cooking?
Your favorite kind of cheese?
My favorite kind of cheese? I could talk about my favorite kind of cheese.
Makes sense to me.
Well, my favorite kind of cheese is that Swiss from Costco. But I don't remember exactly what it's called, what kind of Swiss it is. But it's good stuff. There you go. Okay, we talked about my favorite kind of cheese. Now what? All right.
Down Notre Dame.
So I got some bacon grease in both of these pans. I'm going to do eggs in this. I was going to do all the eggs like separate for the sandwich. I'm just going to make a bunch of eggs and you can throw it on your sandwich. So that's how that's going to work. And the onions, bacon grease, they're going in the pan. They're going to sit there and saute for a couple minutes, and then I'll throw the potatoes in. All right, so I did find some other cheese that we do have. So they don't have to have the Kraft American singles unless that's what they want. English muffins are there. I'm just going to cut these open because I'm just going to cook them all. Get this on. Chase did come up with something I could talk about, though. He said, tell a scary story. Well, I don't know how much of a scary story it is, but I have a story I can tell. When the boys were little, how old were they, honey? Hold on. Okay. I just had to ask John about how old they were. I didn't even have to tell him what story I was going to tell. I'm pretty sure he knows. So they were like, they were probably, yes. It was scary to them, but it's actually really funny. So they were probably, Brendan was probably in kindergarten, Chase probably in first grade. That's probably about how old they were. And so we used to drive around, and sometimes they would say, you know, tell us a scary story. So John would always scare them so bad that they would be like, okay, stop. They'd be done with it, like totally done with it. Not even wanting to hear the rest of the story. So we're gonna let this cook, get these onions stirred. Okay, back to the story. We went into our old cemetery. We have 2 cemeteries in town. One of them is really old, and the other one is not as old. Well, we go into the old cemetery, so they're kind of spooked anyway, just because they know he's going to tell a scary story, and it's just about the time of day where it's starting to get dusk, and he starts telling them a story about, what were you telling them about, like the man with the hook or something? Probably a story about there's a man with a hook, and he would come out, and he was actually not alive, and he would come out and get people, you know? That's not at all how he told the story. It was actually kind of scary, the way he told it. But he would go on about that story for a few minutes while we're in this cemetery, scaring the daylights out of the boys. And, oh no, I'm going to spill the potatoes. Hang on. I shouldn't have opened them yet. But he's telling this story, scaring the daylights out of the boys. Then they get out and start walking through the cemetery. And John and I had this planned ahead of time. We had a van, and it was a full-size van, so the back doors would open. And there was like a little bit of space, cargo space behind the back seat. Well, we already had it planned out ahead of time, but he and the boys walk off towards like where there's some trees and stuff. It was kind of spooky looking. It was a little darker in that area because, like I said, it was dusk time. So he's walking back there, telling them the scary story. And while he's doing that, I climbed into the back doors of the van and got behind the back seats. Closed the doors. He ended up scaring the daylights out of him, scared the tar out of him by hollering, what did you say? That, oh my gosh, there he is, he's coming. It's the man with the hook. They were so scared. They screamed like little girls, took off running, jumped in the van, and said, go, Dad, go. And he's like, where's your mom? And they're like, I don't know, just go. I'm like, what? Every man for himself. That's right, buddy. Oh my goodness. So there's that story. Yeah, I don't know. What else can we talk about? I'm trying to think. Do I have any other stories about anything like that? I remember one time when we went down, I showed you guys in a different video, Rock and Roll Road. And that was like our old party road. We'd have road parties on growing up. And how many eggs do I have in here? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll do, I don't know. I'll probably just do a dozen. But anyway, we went down that road before. And when you get in the middle of all the trees, when it's, again, about dusk time, it is kind of spooky looking. Depending on, you know, if you're making it spooky. Well, they wanted their scary story, and that road's painted on. Well, just so happens where he stopped, just straight ahead, there was red paint in the road. So he's telling a story about the man with the hook. Let me get a whisk. Whoops, sorry, Fred. These onions are getting browned. I'm smelling them. They're aromatic. So we're going to throw in the potatoes. Behind? Yeah, you can smell them too. They're smelling good. I love the smell of browning onions. And we're going to go ahead and, that's not the lid for that pan. Hold on. This is, I'm going to put a lid on that. But yeah, he was telling another scary story. I I don't know what it was about, but he was telling them another scary story because they requested it like they always did. And he stops right in the middle where all the trees are. So it's pretty dark in that area. And all of a sudden we looked and saw the red paint. So it just happened to work out. It's like, oh my gosh, look in the road. There's blood in the road. They got so freaked out. It sounds kind of mean to think about it now, but they got so freaked out. They both just like froze. And Brendan all of a sudden just screamed, and he never did this, but Brendan all of a sudden screamed, "Just go!" Oh my gosh. But yeah, we're gonna get these eggs in. So it sounds mean to think about it, but they asked for the scary stories all the time, didn't they, honey? Yeah. So they did. I don't know, the thrill of it, I guess, whatever. But they like to have the tar scared out of them. Brendan didn't really get spooked very often, but Chase did quite a bit. So whenever we'd watch, John was a big fan of like the Terminator movies, and when the boys were little, we let them watch stuff like that because, I mean, they knew reality and not. But you didn't let him watch the first one. Well, I don't know. I didn't watch those movies, if I'm being honest. I saw bits and pieces, but he didn't let him watch the first one. So anyway, if Terminator would come on, Chase was absolutely terrified of Terminator. He would take off running to the other room and just bury his face. He didn't scream or anything, just didn't want anything to do with it, didn't want to see it. There was times when we tested him before, and at night we'd all be sitting around watching TV, and we would say like, hey guys, I think the back door got left unlocked. Well, why don't you guys go lock it for me? And of course, no, neither one of them, they would just act like they didn't hear us. Come on, one of you guys, please, go lock that back door. And we start saying it like, hurry, go lock it. Go lock the door. Chase would have absolutely nothing to do with it. Pretty soon Brendan would get sick of hearing it and just get up and stomp his little feet right out there and lock that back door. He didn't care. He wasn't afraid. He wasn't afraid at all. Remember that, honey? Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I guess I can come up with something to talk about if I need to, right? Okay. So we're getting the sausage done, and eggs are cooking, taters are cooking. I'll be back. We're just gonna get some salt and pepper and some cheese in with these eggs. Turn the heat down to low. That was probably too much pepper. Not for me, but I wasn't really thinking about that when I sprinkled it in. Maybe everybody else doesn't want that much. It's not too bad if I stir it up. Turn it down to low. I'm going to sprinkle on some cheese. Kind of mix it in a bit. Okay, sprinkle a little bit more on top, and we're going to throw a lid on that pan too. Okay, there we go. I think I might even turn the heat off on that one. I'm going to, or else it's going to burn on the bottom. So I saw this on a video where you just kind of squeeze along the edges of an English muffin and keep turning it, and it's supposed to open up. This one was actually kind of wonky shaped, so if it doesn't work, I'll try a different one. I can actually feel it doing something. I don't know how hard I'm supposed to squeeze. I don't know. I think I'm just screwing it up. We'll try a different one that's not wonky shaped. This one's not shaped like that. All right, let's try it with this one. Just keep squeezing the edges, and it's supposed to open up. It actually is. Not very good, but it is. All right. I'm going to end up ruining them trying to do this. I'm just going to use a knife. Not everything you see on TikTok works. I felt like it was kind of working though. Okay. I got all kinds of crumbs now. I don't even know if they want these toasted. I was just assuming they would. This one's weird. I'm making a heck of a mess. Okay, I'm not worrying about the English muffins right now. I'm just gonna get these sausages cooked. That I can do. So I dressed up them in. And if there's extra sausages, somebody will eat them at some point. Just put them on a bun or an English muffin or whatever and have them left over. So, okay, let those cook up. Okay, Hayden's ready for a breakfast sandwich. He doesn't want any potatoes, so look at his ready. I just warmed this English muffin in the toaster real quick. I didn't really toast it. Is that good? Or
Yeah.
that's good? Okay. Got there. Put some cheesy eggs on it. Which one's the bottom? There we go. Put that on there. And there we go. The breakfast sandwich right here. Here you go, Hayden. So there's one. One guy's eating. I think Chase might have fallen asleep. Turn off the skillet. This might seem a little weird, but I think I'm going to put the eggs right in here. I'm just going to put them in this skillet, the electric skillet. Keep everything warm in there. I don't know, it seems like a good idea to me. Just put on the lid and keep it warm. There's dinner. And over here is the potatoes. I think it smells really good in here, don't you?
Really good.
So I'm just gonna I was gonna say I'm just gonna keep this short and sweet, but I don't really know how short it is. So whatever length this video is, that's where I'm gonna keep it. That's dinner tonight. Just figured I'd chit chat with you while I cook it. Oh, and by the way, give me some topics to chit chat about. Ask me some questions or something, like down in the comments, so I can give me some ideas of some things to talk about with you guys. Okay, that's everything. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.